Are you working on flex fuel support for Mark 8 platform? With the current E60 tune, does the car actually know if you're running higher octane?
There is no sensor input on those. The Mark 8 ECU does not have the Mark 7s have a lot of the flex fuel stuff there and dormant in the ECU. The Mark 8s are not set up quite the same. So it's not nearly as simple as it was on the Mark 7s to get that integrated. So I mean that's where just the starting point is on that. We are working on and will likely eventually offer a full flex fuel system for it, but it's not going to be anytime immediate. So let me see what there's some follow-ups here. The car does not know if you're running a ethanol blend, as we've said on all of these files.
That's why you have to run the blend.
Yeah, they're fixed ratio expectations.
I mean, the car doesn't. I mean, the car knows the ECU is programmed to operate E60 fuel. So
due to the mapping, correct.
The ECU is being educated on a new fuel. It just doesn't know what fuel that is.
Right.
But the tuning and calibration from an E60 file to a gas file are different.
Yeah. I mean, it's no different. On your gas filler, it says minimum required octane 91 or 93, whatever it is for your region. If you put 87 some garbage octane in there, the ECU doesn't know you put 87 in. It's going to sit there and knock and ping, and it's going to be terrible. And it's going to try and pull time into correct for it. It's not going to just do a little taste test and be like, hey, that's 87. I'm going to dial things back. So
that's what flex fuel is the ECU knows what.
It's literally taste testing the fuel as it goes through and knowing what is in there. And even the Mark 7s didn't have it fully mapped. They know what the ratio is, but there's no accommodations in stock ECUs to know anything about adjusting timing for that. They'll just give you a little more fuel based on the 85, and that's it.
Can you clarify if ethanol sensors can detect octane?
No, they cannot. Ethanol sensors do not. They detect the ratio of presence of ethanol in the fuel.
They are not octane.
There's no octane measurement sensor like that. That's no.
Granted, you could sort of extrapolate a rough approximation. If you know...
Yeah, you have to guess at your base fuel octane.
The ECU would have to know that there's 91 and that there's E85, and then it could come up with a rough... But it's not a sense. It's not an octane sense.
It's not an octane sense.
So some folks want a flex fuel tune that can take 91 and 93 and ethanol.
Nope. You have to start with your base fuel octane and then add some amount of ethanol. So generally, how that would be set up, would be you'd have a 91 as your base gasoline octane, and that will blend up into an E85 file.
And there's no reason to run 93
at that point. I mean,
you could probably get away with 87. Not saying
don't do it, but
yeah.
The amount of when the ethanol takes over, you get over E60 or whatever. You're making up for that deficit pretty well.